up. Join in with the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, roll call. Start.
Pete Christensen, board member at large.
Monty Miles, board member.
Christian Leonard, Lewis and Clark County Noxious Weed Supervisor.
Neil Smith, member at large.
Rob McDonough, board member at the pleasure of.
Tom Thompson has been around here.
Mike Cobb, board member as.
Jessica Vegas, Special Districts Coordinator. Lily Nix, Big Sky Watershed Board Member.
Alex Lopez, Noxious Weed Planner.
Dave Birch, member of the in West Valley and chair, so. Well, thanks guys for coming, good turnout. Anybody, have you talked to Judith Dan at all?
She had,
She had an appointment today.
yesterday, so she was gonna stay home and rest.
Yeah, she's a tough old bird. Sure she'll get through it, so. Okay. Past meeting minutes and outline or. First the minutes are on 9. We didn't have a June 17th meeting. So we'll go into budget report, 297.
Yes, as you guys can see in your packet is this page right here. Yep, right on the front. Right on the front page. Not a whole lot changed, but we did on 6/26 paid the IT rental for Lily Nix, our Big Sky Watershed Corps member for IT, for $1,259.80, which came out of the WGSCR fund. So that's where that came out of. So we currently have $14,944.30 left in that, which is our noxious weed special county reservation grant. And then from last month to this month for the MDT funds is still the same at $4,506.20 for a total of $19,450.50. So, and I believe we still have at least one more contribution for Lily next coming up here soon. So
That's the Big Sky. Right?
Yep, Big Sky Watershed. Yep.
Okay.
And that's, if you guys have any questions.
Looks good. Okay. We're going to action items, non-compliance. You or Alex?
As you guys go to your board packets, you guys can see Appendix A. On the ones that we're gonna go through here. We'll start with weed case WD 2026-13. For that one, we're good. I just kept them all on there because it was on the original agenda, so we kept them on there, but Alex was able to speak with the landowner on 6/29 about the noxious weeds in the front yard. They have plans to mechanically control the populations. So they have working on getting their voluntary compliance taken care of. So there's nothing, no other questions. We can move on to the next one.
Page. Another packet.
There you go. Yeah. Okay. With WD 2026-014. Also, the landowner reached out and contacted us, and Alex spoke with them on 6/29 about the weeds on their property. Followed up with an email to provide applicator list, 5-year management plan, and cost share information. They're working on scheduling an applicator to submit the voluntary compliance. So that one is good to go for voluntary compliance. We will move on to our first weed case, WD 2026-015. Case details on here. The initial was done on the 15th, which is when we did the voluntary compliance, and then Alex was back out there on the 30th, which they, in the meeting notes, you can see no management observed. List of weeds growing, spotted knapweed has bolted and is producing buds. White top has seeded. Listen is flowering and seeding. Musk thistle is flowering. As you guys move on to page 3, also has the chronology on when everything was sent. But here on the map, on the maps on page number 3, it's on that top. It's on that top piece up here. Alex has very graciously put in the polygons as well as site locations for noxious weeds as well that are on the property. Page 5, you can see a picture of the white top has gone to seed. Horulus is flowering and also going to seed. And then some spotted knapweed on page 6. This one is for you guys. You vote on to have the certified mail sent out. You guys have any questions, please?
Total acres.
Total acres of the property?
Yeah.
Not actually sure.
Is it just non-responsiveness from the landowner? I mean, are they just
No response.
no response at all?
Yeah, so we've sent out the voluntary compliance notice, the first letter, and it has been 14 days, today would be 15, which, yeah, no problem. This property is a duplex. So there's actually 2 units, and they both do a fairly good job mowing, but there's a bunch of stuff in the adjacent right of way that butts to the land.
Is this somebody that's you've had trouble with before that you know, or?
No, I think this is the first case to this property. Chairman, I do not know the acreage of this property. I believe it is just shy of an acre.
Okay.
It's a very small property just located off of South Vegas.
And Shelley joined us too online. So, hi Shelley, we're just going through the first couple 3 on the Appendix A. If you have that in front of you. We're on WD 2026-1015.
Okay, thank you. I apologize for being late.
No problem. Okay, well, I guess I would entertain a motion that we send the second letter and non-compliance letter and get it going. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any more questions, concerns, comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes.
Okay. The next one on the appendix is WD 2026-016. As you can see, all the attachments that are included in on this one as well. 8, 7, that's on 7, excuse me. Again, in the inspections, spotted knapweed on the west side of the parcel and white top on the east side of the parcel, which is shown on the map on page number 9. This is the small parcel right there in the center. And then again, has the spotted knapweed musk thistle you can see there, as well as some white top growing on that property off of Poplar Street. Billard and Poplar.
Is that the part that's highlighted there?
Yep.
Yeah, so there should be points and polygons on these maps, and so I've taken the time to include these in the notices that go out to the landowners, so they have a good visual identification, rather than just like coordinates or east, southwest.
So same deal. Just today we're
Yep, no.
voting to move on a
Yep,
certified
no.
letter.
Yep, there's no response from them on that. So
Is there evidence that somebody's living there?
No, this is a vacant lot. Just to clarify, cadastral does have two different addresses for this property. Our internal central square program reflects one address that goes to an airport hangar. And then cadastral itself, on Montana's website goes to a different address. And so for the voluntary compliance notice, I did mail it to both addresses. But for this notice of non-compliance, I guess we would like to decide if you would like to mail it to both those addresses as well.
Go ahead, Rob.
I recognize the name and I think they're a construction company, right? So this is probably a spec house that they haven't sold yet. Is that what you're thinking?
It's an empty lot. There's no house on the property.
Well, there was a house beside it.
There is, so
Those are two different parcels. So
lot,
that's just this one.
that's a real small piece.
this lot did used to be owned by the landowners. I think in the last year or two, it has been sold because I've been out there.
Do you know which property is listed for the tax bill?
I do. It
The
actually,
hangar or the-
it is, not, it's a Gold Avenue. So it's actually just adjacent to
Okay.
this site, yeah.
Okay.
When there's a possibility that something has sold, do we have a way of going through the county records to find out?
That's linked to the cadastral, so as soon as that's updated with cadastral, that'll be populated on our map, because it's linked together. As far as the tax information, there might be a little bit of lag time, but I would imagine whatever's listed on that tax bill is gonna be the current owner.
And I will clarify, both of these addresses do go to the same entity. They both share the same last name.
I would move to send the certified letter.
I'll second both addresses.
So Newton seconded to send both non-compliant or certified letters to both addresses. Any more questions? Discussion?
Question. How are the weeds with all the other property around them? Are they all being taken care of or are they?
It's a little bit of a tricky area, I would say, just because there are alleys. So most landowners don't know that they are supposed to manage adjacent alleys. So I'd say most of the properties do maintain their front and backyards, but the alleyway.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes.
Okay. We will move on to WD 2026-17. Be an easy one. Also that landowner, the 29th was the day. I think a couple of them are the same landowner, but about the noxious weeds on the property, working on contracting with a commercial applicator. It has provided them with an app to receive a quote. He's working on filling out the VCP, which is voluntary compliance proposal, and emailing it to us. Spoke with him Alex also spoke with them about the cost share program, so. This seems to be a good avenue for us getting our cost share program out and about, but we want to try to help them out too, as these come along, so. Again, nothing to do there, they have completed what they need to do to be in voluntary compliance. Okay, move on to the last non-compliance of this.
I apologize for being late. The parts board ran late.
Not a problem. Thanks for joining us. Awesome. Okay, we will move on to WD 2026-018. Again, going through the case details. Came in on the 10th. Alex was able to go out there and make the maps on the 16th and the 30th. Voluntary compliance was sent out on the 16th of June. I got these sort of stuff here a little bit. And on the 30th, they failed their weed inspection. Map is also attached here. You guys can see that on page number 14. Spotted knapweed has bolted and produced buds. So this is for a sewer district to manage the weeds within the area in that subdivision. So as you can see on page 15, the couple of pictures Alex was able to get of the spotted knapweed in that area. Okay. Yeah, Glacier Point water incident. Any questions, comments? Questions or concerns? Good. Alex, anything you need to say?
No, I don't think so. It's just mostly, in that mapped area. It doesn't seem like it's spread out into the rest of that parcel. So it is just kind of butting up to all of those adjacent landowners. So they're having issues with noxious weeds as well.
This is the same water and sewer company that's having trouble with their clientele and not supplying water at the rate they think. This is one of them that had a month ago. They had an issue, or 2 months ago.
You're looking at me like I'm supposed to know this.
Well,
I didn't know there'd be a test today.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember.
Well, that
I
ratio-
remember this neighborhood having an issue with water.
Which neighborhood are we talking about?
This is the Speedway, Valley Speedway Road area,
Glacier Point is the subdivision.
Glacier Point.
I'm sorry, I can't.
So this may be a chronic problem with this company, so I think we probably should give them a reminder that they have to control the weeds.
So is this the one that's got the
Had a boil order.
next to the gun range, and then they have.
Yeah. Next to the interstate, from gun range, the interstate and the church.
Storage unit out there.
Yes.
So I'll make the motion that we send them a registered letter.
Okay. Second. Motion's made and seconded to send a letter to the irrigation or the sewer company, sewer district. Any other questions? I guess I go out there quite a bit because my son's got a storage unit. That whole subdivision's full of, I can't believe people don't mow their weeds, at least mow them. I mean, you go out there and the knapweed's 4 feet tall and the Oriolus is about the same size. But it's all in the ditches, it's in their yards, not all of them, but quite a few of them. So I think we can at least get something started out there would be a good thing to have happen. Maybe people take notice and get some stuff done.
It's pretty when it's in bloom.
Oh, yeah.
Have we done any kind of outreach with other residents there, like hand out pamphlets or, you know, I know you guys have a ton of resources. Have you given any of that to the folks that live around there so that they know and can hold each other accountable?
Currently, no, we have not. We do have the option, to do postcard mailings. That is something we have done in some RDs or subdivisions in the past, just to bring some noxious weed awareness to them. I don't know if we currently have the capacity to walk around and insert resources into mailboxes right now, but postcards would definitely be a good option.
Do you have postcards available?
We have postcards that we print in-house, yeah, so you can tailor them to the noxious weeds that are actually in these areas, and then you can get descriptors and our contact information and other resources.
And we could, you've already been out there, so you probably know what weeds are there anyway, so.
Do we have a 4-H program to educate so that the kids will go out and talk to mom and dad and grandparents? I mean, it's education. These people, I was someplace the other day and I was whining because my white top was just going crazy, and a lady was saying, you know, nobody knows about what weeds are, and somebody needs to do something. And I hadn't really thought about it. This is an education problem. We've got all these people moving in, they don't know what the weeds are. So
Continual problem.
yeah, so if you guys can think of ways that we can.
We should do a radio ad or something.
Yeah.
Based on the conversation, this is a relatively low income area. Am I right in that assumption?
No.
No,
Oh, okay. Okay.
rich people don't pull weeds.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a motion on the table and seconded. Any other discussion? Did I catch you off, Shelley?
No, I just want to reiterate that any kind of education with like a wider spread is going to help in the situation, because then other people will understand what's going on. And so I think that might be something to consider for this area, since it is a sewer district.
Okay,
Chair, can I add something?
yep.
There's precedent for trying to educate kids at a very young age. I lived in Hawaii for 3 years. And the kindergartners and first graders are already learning what the good guys and the bad guys are with these little, like, baseball cards.
Yeah.
So starting at a very young age is certainly something they can do. So I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. Okay, so all in favor of the motion, say aye.
I
All opposed? Motion passes. I would direct Alex or Lillian to put some postcards together and send them out. For those, I think that'd help tremendously.
Just information. How does the complaint get initialized? Is it because they don't have a weed plan with the board, or because a neighbor turns them in, or what?
Yeah, so we only operate off of submitted complaints. So we only take phone calls or emails, and we collect contact information as well from those individuals, because this does have, can reach the court system ultimately. So yeah, currently just only complaints. So it is valid reason to say that this neighborhood does have a larger issue. So some outreach would be a good opportunity.
So somebody called you? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. I love this process. You guys have done an excellent job.
Yeah,
Putting it
it's
together.
great.
Works out really well, so. I think it makes our job a heck of a lot easier and pretty speedy. I love the pictures. I love the way it's,
Easy to track,
yeah,
very easy to track.
Especially if they do something about it.
yeah,
Right.
right.
Yeah, they pay cash.
And that, blows my mind that people won't respond to a letter saying got something wrong there. Hopefully in this next legislative session, we've got I'll talk about it when I get into my report, so we can move on from that if you want. But yeah, great job, you guys. Appreciate it. Staff reports. Christian?
Yes, I guess just to start off, I just want to thank Alex. It's a lot of work by Alex with all that non-compliance. He spends a lot of time putting all that stuff together. So, thank you, Alex, for all your hard work on that. We went over the budget, agreements for the Beaver Creek Forest Service, agreement out of the Beaver Creek. That's the York Beaver Creek, not Lincoln Beaver Creek. Alex and Lily were able to, at our last board meeting, and Lily were able to go do 3 releases of stem gull flies. So that's pretty cool. All right, there on the mow, I believe. So that'll be cool to see how that goes with monitoring that.
What's a stem gull fly?
So it's a little fly.
Yeah.
And it actually puts its eggs into the stem, and it actually, that's like, have you
Which
seen
plant?
the tube, Canadian thistle?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that's so like if you ever go out there and you see those, you'll see a lot of thistle plants and they'll have like a tuber, look like a tuber on the stem
Mhm.
of it, and that's what they're doing. That little larvae is in there disrupting it. So hopefully prevent it from seeding out as it matures. That's pretty cool.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty cool.
My husband's a fly fisherman, so I was thinking, well, maybe those are some of the bugs he's using, but no.
Probably not that one. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. Hopefully it's not
But he
feeding.
might try
Trout.
something.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
want them on the Canadian thistle, not in the water.
Oh,
So, also, we increased our leafy spurge order from 5 releases to 10 releases. So we're gonna be going out there to do 10 releases of leafy spurge right there on that sort of that creek bottom flat piece out there where they sort of redid the stream restoration through there. It's just
Still a Beaver Creek out there.
Yep. This would be more the west end of it. There's a little, I would say like, it's just all smooth brome is really all it is out there. But there's intermixed, leafy spurge in there, and leafy spurge is just a very difficult, plant to manage, especially in those kinds of areas. It likes to precipitate through the soil. That soil out there is very permeable, and you're not that far from the Missouri River. So it was just one of those places where we thought if we can get something established up on those top areas away from the creek stream, like harvester ants like to live in those areas down there. So try to keep the bugs up away from those and keep them from that spurge from getting up to the top. So through time. So and regardless, that's sort of a legacy thing from all of us here to get those things out there and hopefully keep them there. So those should be coming shortly.
Coming from
So,
Missoula.
I think that was the integrated weed management out of Missoula. So, oh, that was Bozeman. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. The other Forest Service agreement for roads and other projects within Lewis and Clark County with the Forest Service. They had given us some trailheads and project areas for us to go spray. The seasonals have been slowly working their way through that as they're getting through their road list. I sort of put them with their road, so they're up there to do that when they get up there. So, and then currently working with Kyle Schmidt on a Forest Service project area. He's working on putting one together to give to us so we can possibly go out and spend some extra money. So we'll see. We'll see what's coming up. I'll reach out to him after the 4th of July to see where he is with that project. So hopefully maybe a fall treatment for that, or if not, we'll definitely have something ready to go for the next spray season out of there. I believe it was like $16,000 extra to spend through that agreement. So that's a good thing. It's a good thing to do. Our BLM assistance agreement, I spoke with Helena Weed Control last week. He was actually planning on trying to go out this last weekend to go spray, but obviously that did not happen. But we did definitely get a good amount of moisture that was needed for our area. So I'm assuming that he was just waiting for something to dry out and then work with some of those landowners out there, and hopefully within the next week or so he's out there managing that for us. So with his price and stuff, it's like 132 wetted acres out in the Marysville area that will get sprayed out. A lot of it is spotted knapweed out in the Marysville area, so that'll be a good thing. So that's a lot of acres treated for us. MDT Butte and Great Falls, though, our new contract year started today. So we'll start to work those into our projects list as we start to move forward with here. So we're a little bit behind on some of the spraying just due to weather and just having a few seasonal start a little later. So trying to get through our spray list at least once before we try to start doing some MDT work. So it was a busy month for weed management plans. We received 11 of them this month. Almost half of them were for cost share though. So 5 of them were for cost share. 2 were for special projects, Third Element headquarters right there off of Wiley. And then I believe the 4 subdivision plans, those were resubmits from, so those were ones that we've had before, and he just resubmitted to carry them on for the next 5. They had come to term. So resubmitted those for Wordsmith, Blacksmith, Coppersmith, and Arrowsmith subdivisions. Compliance cases, we've had a total of 15 for the year. I think that has gone up a little bit since we've done this, but 9 active cases as of right now. But that's ever changing every day. So that's sort of where we're at. Crews have been working through their spray binders. Alex and I created a cool little binder for them to work through, sort of like a flow chart of work to get through the districts. I have 3 crews and have them split up between districts and sort of organized it in a way that'd be effective for them to get through those. But this last month, we really focused on the Augusta area. We spent at least 2 weeks up there this last month. And then we also participated in the Elk Creek, Ford Creek, and Sun Canyon spray days up in those areas too. So it was a busy month. We almost got through all the roads in those 2 weeks. It got a little rainy and a little windy up there on occasion this last month. So I think we still have a few roads left, but not very much. We got to finish up Sun Canyon, I think, like Bob Thomas, and trying to remember the one that connects to Bob Thomas. But anyways, we got a couple of those to get through, and I think maybe Long Butte as well. So also this last month, I was able to finish spraying the west side berm. Thanks to Alex and seasonal sprayers, we were able to do that. I think it ended up being like 21 or 22 loads of hydroseed between the cell 3 closure and the west berm. So 700 gallons of water per load. 350 pounds of cellulose per load. So I got my workout there for a couple of weeks. 50 pounds of bale. So anyways, I felt like I was a farmer moving around hay bales there for a little while. Anyways, it ended up working out good. We could have timed it any better. We got some great moisture right after. So hopefully here in the coming few days, we get to hopefully see some germination.
Yeah.
So anyways, it does, just with any seeding project, it does take some time in a few years before things come along. I've seen that on the Remini Road and on these other areas too, where we've sort of participated in it. It takes a little long, especially that these are all native seeds that we put out there too. So should be pretty cool mix.
Good.
Dalmatian, for move on to biocontrol, Alex and Lily were able to do some Dalmatian toadflax monitoring, collection of sites. Between both of them collecting this spring, they were able to fulfill all 18 releases that were on our list for the year, which is pretty cool. And what's really neat is that it comes out to, if you were to buy those, comes out to $4,950 worth of biocontrol that we were able to redisperse to constituents within the county. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, some of the education outreach, I was asked to partner with Jefferson County and Department of Ag for realtor training that was held on June 23rd. They had about six or eight realtors at that training. I think it was a little smaller thing. And with that, we got to learn that Alex won a thing for Weed Awareness Week for the most observations within iNaturalist, and not just noxious weeds either, right? It was also
It's specific.
was it specific for noxious weeds? Okay.
And
So-
how did you get this award?
He just had the most. He
But
inputted the most.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, he
Okay.
submitted the most sites on there. So it's really cool. And that iNaturalist is our state. It's the state map for everything, right? So it goes into the Montana Heritage.
They do, yeah. So it's like a worldwide app that's for like observations and identifications of anything. And the Montana Department of Agriculture had a Noxious Weed Awareness Week event this year where they created a project and were trying to get people to participate. So that was my logistical thinking, was participation, and then I ended up having the most observations.
Thank you for explaining that to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Couldn't potentially crash the system.
In
10,000 people.
that, when we were at the our annual conference, they gave a really good talk on iNaturalist, and it's really cool. It'll ID not only plants, animals, birds, all that stuff. If you're able to get a good photograph of it, it'll ID those kinds of things for you. So it is a great resource to just as you're out there self-learning and want to learn about new things as well. It's a really, really neat application, as well as it puts in the data point too on where you found that. So it's pretty cool. Really neat things going on. And then since the last board meeting, we were able to get fully staffed finally, and then everybody has been onboarded and trained. So, like today, we have a full crew out there working on their weed list. So it was a good day today. And then just some general updates too. I was able to work with I can't say their name, Ferrova Services, or they are the BNSF spray contractor. I actually worked with them to go out there and took them along all the points along the scratch gravel hills. I told them go all the way to Cascade County. And then I also drove down to the main line as well. We actually drove up Austin Road too and showed them all the knapweed and musk thistle up that area. And then we actually went out to East Helena by the old where Kemet is, and showed them where all the white top patches are along that too. So they were very responsive to us, so hopeful, and seemed to be very engaged and try to get out there and manage those weeds. So we'll see where they're at here in the upcoming weeks. I'll make sure to stay in contact with them to see how they're going.
Talk's cheap.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
show up and get the work done, then we'll see.
Yeah, well, that's sort of where I'm at, right? That's where I'm at. So we've got to hold their feet to the fire a little bit here. So, I had an interesting conversation with somebody. I think I forwarded them to you, but it sounds like BNSF has caught some wind of possible changes to the law, to the weed law, with them actually getting fines instead of going through the legal process. So it sounds like that has sort of engaged them to start to do a little bit
Is
more.
that federal law?
No, that's state law. No, that would be that's Montana Weed
Okay.
Law Act. So,
Bless her.
but anyways, I've heard about that. That's what some lady talked to me, and then I actually gave her your contact information to reach out. I don't know if she did or not, but we were able to get our updated cost share program up there. We helped make it a little bit more enticing and more user friendly than it was in the past. So I think that's a great thing for us. we've done a pretty good job on getting that going, but we'd like to try to get that fund fully expended every year, and I think this will help us accomplish that and help people utilize it more with it, and it helps not only the landowner, but also the contractors to help, you know, sometimes they're gonna be your best asset in that program too, so. And then the bylaws were adopted by the BOCC, so we'll get those signed, copied and get it back, so thank you very much.
Good.
And that's all I have from my report.
Good. Any questions or comments for Christian on that? His report? Okay. Jessica?
Sure, I would say within special districts and also the county public works department, things are very busy. Our summer season is well underway. Lots of grading projects, lots of crack sealing, patching, you name it, it's all happening. There's been a little bit of delay with the weather. That's to be expected. I will say that the county road department is very understaffed. There are several positions open over there, so if you know anybody with a CDL that's interested in being a road operator, please send them our way. We have 2 positions still open in Lincoln, and then there are several vacancies here in Helena as well. So that is going to greatly impact response this season. It's a difficult time to lose staff. Just kind of a perfect storm of events to lead to it, but a lot of contractors already have their crews in place, so nobody's being really laid off at this point. You know, the state is set, the city is set, so it's tough to pull right now. So anyway, budgets have been passed preliminary budgets have passed, and we anticipate those final budgets will come mid-July. That should be finally approved. But everything looks really good so far, I believe. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. And just with a thanks to Rob for pointing out the work on Lewis and Clark Road. I think Sean was able to get up there and hopefully do a little bit of maintenance up there. So
Worked for a while and then it rained. No, it's same thing.
okay.
Ruts are about that deep.
Think of them as speed bumps. It's important to have some speed bumps.
Well, they're running the wrong way though.
Going real fast though when there's,
Yeah,
they,
Only on the road when you cross it.
automated driving.
that's right.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
that's it. Yep.
Lily?
Yeah, we have our Adopt a Trailhead event, our read poll coming up this month on July 16th. We got our plaque from the Department of Ag, so we'll be hanging this up soon. We were thinking of doing like little educational stations, but we're not sure how many people are going to turn up to the event. We have been posted a bunch of flyers around downtown Helena. The flyer has been shared in our newsletter. It'll be shared in our July newsletter that I'm working on right now. It's been posted on our website and then on Facebook as well. So depending on how many people, we're considering doing some educational stations, which we may need help with from some of you. But if not, we were thinking that maybe we could pair volunteers with board members so that way they don't end up pulling native plants on accident.
Good call.
Yeah. And then I have been doing some educational and outreach events. We tabled the Helena Farmers Market, which was a really great event. We handed out a lot of resources. Everyone was really happy about all of the free stuff we were giving out. We were kind of situated at a really good spot at a crosswalk, so we had a lot of people come up and talk to us. I worked the Mount Helena Kids Day with PPLT, so I had my own noxious weed education station, and I talked to about 90 sixth grade students. We had our biocontrol talk. We had 2 people show up at that, and then our summer walk series, we also had 2 people. So small turnouts, but really good one-on-one conversations with people. It seems like they're really trying to do the best to take care of their properties, and hopefully we'll be spreading the word from there. I've shared April, May, and June newsletter, working on the July newsletter right now, and we're at about 90 subscribers. And then biocontrol releases. We've been doing a lot of field work the past couple of months think we've released like over or around 5,000 Dalmatian toadflax weevils, collected around 3,600 Dalmatian toadflax weevils. And then we did monitoring at the airport, PPLT's 10-mile property, and then BLM land in Marysville. And I finished outlining the booklet as well, 117 pages. To be working on some edits. And that's all.
What time is the weed poll?
10 a.m. till noon,
And what's the date?
July 16th. It's a Thursday. And we have the pavilion reserved, so we have it reserved until 1 p.m.
Where is this gonna occur?
Spring Meadow Lake State Park.
Okay. I'll be there.
Awesome.
Great. Good report. Sounds like you're staying busy. Alex.
My only update is that we are just headed out next week to Missoula to do leafy spurge biocontrol collections with the Montana Biocontrol Coordination Project. We have requests for, I believe, 38 releases right now, a mix between flea beetles and the stem-borne beetles. And so I'm excited to have Billy come out next week and experience this. It's a fun one. I really enjoy it. And we've invited out some fellow Big Sky Watershed Corps members, so we'll have some extra assistance.
Good. Good. Great.
Alex, have you updated them? I missed the last meeting, I think, about the tablets in use.
I don't know. Yeah, we have started using tablets for the crew's herbicide application records. So Lilia actually did build out a survey 123 form earlier this season. So the crew now can
Are you
utilize.
talking about a computer or a pill? A tablet?
Like an iPad.
Oh, school, I need to have this
Yeah,
interpretation.
an iPad. Yep. So
Computer.
An iPad.
not
An iPad.
necessarily a computer. Yeah. And so yeah, crews have been using those now for at least a month or month and a half. So we get real-time data that comes in and it shows us like the road, the weed species that are occurring along that road, how long they spent spraying that road. So it just compiles a bunch of information that we get to look at right away. We've also employed Survey 123 for our biocontrol releases. So we have, instead of a paperwork sheet for landowners to fill out, just a QR code that goes to the web page, and they get to fill that out, and that information gets sent back to us with the geolocation as well. And what we're hoping to do with this information is build out a public-facing dashboard. So where people can see where biocontrol has happened, where weeds have been mapped, or they can actually go on and click on a point on their road to see what weed species they could expect to see in their area.
Nice.
Yeah.
This is great, I think, not only from a data sharing perspective and getting this information live and in a format that we can share easily with the public. This has also been a huge efficiency for our staff. So instead of taking those sheets every day and entering that information manually, this is instantly. So it's a very nice, efficient.
Good.
Hold on there.
Yeah, I think at the next regular meeting, maybe we can have something to pull up to show you guys on the screen.
That'd be good. Okay, excellent. Any questions for any of those guys? Okay.
Have you guys considered having that program that you've used as one of your stations at the weed bowl?
No, not yet. We've considered doing like mapping through iNaturalist. So that instead is information that would get sent to the heritage program. And we could request that information, but the survey 123 form is more.
Oh, I'm sorry, I should have explained myself better. The heritage program at our weed pool,
Oh,
not
okay.
the 123, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, sorry.
Yeah.
No, I have not yet.
That might be a decent way to hook
Mhm.
a few more people into doing weed surveys.
Yeah, there is the Ag Corps program through the Montana Department of Agriculture. They do have a mapping specialist that works for them that does education outreach. And so they are actually coming to the event, but we haven't asked them to provide any education.
Could you see if he would be interested?
Yeah, we can see if they're interested.
I think I'd like to learn.
Yeah. Definitely.
Gonna raise you for conservation.
Yeah.
Any question? Ron?
Yeah, do these people know that part of their weed plan is mowing?
For compliance
Yeah.
reasons, it is their choice what method of control they utilize. So they could use mowing, they could use herbicide or other cultural
Because
controls.
mowing would be, especially those little smalls, everybody has a lawnmower,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah, and part of the notice that we designed is the voluntary compliance proposal sheet where they get to select the method of management they would like to perform. And then they
Nothing
return that
is
back.
not an option.
Yeah.
Timing is critical on mowing. Because when it's gone to seed, you're spreading.
The other thing with mowing too, especially
now,
knapweed.
better than looking at it.
Aware of, if you start out with knapweed this tall, don't mow it to the ground. Mow about half of it, because that, once you put it to the ground, it'll flower at the ground. We went through a process with, the caverns, Lincoln Clark Caverns. And they said, yeah, we've been mowing it. And we went over there as the board, because we had a board meeting over there, we went over there. I kid you not, the knapweed was this tall
Yeah,
and
it hides.
flowering.
Yeah.
So,
It hides.
yeah, so if we found out if you mow it like halfway down first, let it sit for a while. Come back, mow it again, about halfway down, come back, go mow it again, it stops all the seeding process. It won't reseed in the fall. So,
That's good to know.
yeah, it's kind of interesting.
You know, musk thistle do the same thing.
Yeah.
You can clip that off near the base and go back 2 weeks and there'll be a big old seed head about that high
Yeah.
off the ground. Well, maybe not that big, but
No, I know,
they,
damn plants are smart.
Adaptive.
Okay, Candace, do you have anything?
I got a couple of things. One thing, the amount of spraying that you've done up in the Augusta area. I'm hoping that let's see, the first Friday of every month, we go to Lincoln. But not this week because of the 4th of July, but the following Friday, we'll be going to Augusta. And we usually have a report, and sometimes Jenny does it, but I think it would be really helpful for you to get up and talk to people about what all the places that you have recently sprayed up there around Augusta that you were just telling us about. I think there again, we're educating people. I think the people who have lived up there for years probably recognize spotted knapweed when I see it. But some people think, oh, look at the pretty flowers. And anyway, so education is the key. So if you could figure out a way to get a weed report or a weed control report in the July 8th meeting, it's a Friday.
Okay, yeah, that would be July, not August, sorry, yeah. Yeah, it's next week.
Is this a forum where we could put an information booth? And have it staffed with what we have at the home show?
It's
Pretty fast.
we have a meeting up there and talk about issues relevant to the Augusta community. And it is usually, sometimes it goes on longer, but usually it's people come in and they're, taking time off. They're ranchers and they came in out of the field because they're on a bitch about me closing the Bird's Eye Bridge, anyway, I never know. And so, but they do have other events in Augusta and in Lincoln. For example, this weekend is the Lincoln Rodeo. And I don't know if we've done anything about having a booth or a trailer up there. Maybe it's too late to plan this for this year. But as I say, I think talking to people that I don't know this is a problem. I walked my dog and there's a bike path between our neighborhood and Montana Avenue all the way to the top of the hill. And that's where I walked the dog, and I am absolutely disgusted about the amount of spotted knapweed in that right of way. And I think it's a county road.
Some of it is, yeah.
Some of it's DOT, but I think out where I live, can we do something about that?
Yep,
I can't pull it all, but every time I go back there, I have to go home and take my blood pressure medicine. So, okay. That's all.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Any questions for anybody? For any of the staff or? Okay, great. We'll go ahead and do board reports. Go ahead. You have anything?
Musk thistle is popping. My neighbor had a small population of white top that mysteriously disappeared recently.
Mysteriously?
Yeah, who knows? Somebody must have pulled it under the cover of darkness or something. I don't know.
Just when somebody comes by my.
Yeah, that's all I had.
I've been in contact with the new nursery that's out on,
Mill Road.
next
Mill.
to Mill Road. Have they contacted you guys about a spray plan? They're leasing about a quarter of the acreage, and the other 3/4 of the acreage is starting to become a weedy mess. You name it, you could probably find it out there. It hasn't been
You know
had
who
any
owns it?
control on it pardon?
Who owns it?
I don't know. I just talked to the people leasing it, but they were gonna talk to their landowner about contacting you guys to get a spray program in place. Brand new nursery, first year out, they're interested in any kind of information that we can supply them and any help we can get. Growworks over here, just across the road over here, is also interested in having a presentation on weeds sometime, and I asked them to contact you guys to arrange that. And I found a beautiful patch of Canada thistle just north and east of Roster School, right up against the interstate, right on the ditch bank. It's right in the road, and it looks like it's been there probably 4 or 5 years. And it looks like it's starting to age from the bottom, so there may be some biocontrol or some rust in that. I didn't get in the middle of it because I'm driving past it when I saw it, so. But it might be a good one to look at, see if there's anything in there. But it'd be a good one for, especially the kids at that school, for biocontrol.
Not as full at this time.
Yeah, well, some kids aren't. Some of us had spent a lot of summers in school.
Okay, thanks, Mom. Yep.
Yeah, I don't have a lot to report. I participated in the Montana Department of Ag weed poll. Davis Gulch, that was about a month ago, wasn't it? Lily and Alex were there. Pretty good turnout, I think. I was at the Dalmatian toad flax monitoring for a while. By the way, hats off and nod to both of you. Alex really knocked it out of the park as far as just presenting the information in a way that anybody could have understood it with those 2 landowners, right? Those 2 ladies. But you did a really good job, and I just wanted to let everybody know that. And I also, every time I go out and walk the dog, I'm pulling something. And this morning was probably 150 mulens. I was up on the barking dog trail, and I swear some of those plants this year look like tobacco down in Kentucky. They're just
Like this.
oh, they're huge. Yeah. So anyway, that's basically what I've been doing lately. So, oh, actually, one other thing, just kind of a general of interest. I was in Rosebud County in early June coming up. It's going to do some survey work on a private property, 40 acres, but the amount of yellow sweet clover is staggering. It's almost as if people had taken yellow paint and thrown it. I mean, we all see it everywhere along the roads. I've never seen it so extensively on hillsides. And I don't know, it's not a noxious weed, I guess, officially, but it's surprising how abundant that can be. And, you know, the thinking ecologically, it's like, what is it crowding out? Provides everything, yeah. So it's like smooth brome.
It's a huge year, that biennial nature of it.
Yeah.
We do a lot of reclamation on some of the coal mines down in that part of the world, and
Yeah.
we do clipping. We drop a 1/2 meter frame and you clip every species and bag it up based on category, you know, native perennial grasses, introduced perennial grasses, and on a big sweet clover year, it's 100% introduced annual biennials.
Yeah.
Cause it's just all sweet clover and you get underneath it, there's just nothing. Just shading everything out.
It's funny how that cycles. I mean, one year it'll be really bad, next year you don't see it.
Well, that's right. The woman whose property I was working on is from Tennessee. She's been going there for 60 years. She looked like she was 90 years old, but a lot of vim and vigor there, but she just said it was a bad sweet clover year,
Yeah.
so it ebbs and flows, I guess.
It means there's moisture.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
What it is.
we're getting the right amount of rain.
Opportunistic.
Yeah.
Rob,
Speaking of rain, we've had our share of it. I haven't done as much spraying as I would like to have by this time of year. I will have some hay to harvest this year, also. That's a good thing for a rancher. And I would also like to be included on the spurge flea beetle deal. I was on it last year and I got a couple containers, but I got places on the ranch that unless I had ambition to pack a backpack sprayer there, but that stuff, it works good in those places you can't access. Thanks. That's it.
okay, thank you. Mike,
Well, I probably have more questions than answers, but so I was really amazed with this rain. I mean, I thought I was looking for knapweed, and like you say, now it's this tall when you walk out there. And I'd say I keep looking for the hound's tongue beetle, and I have plenty of food for it. I see on the ranch, but I sure don't see it yet. But and I hope the way they talk that it devastates the weeds. So I hope it's just called patience. And then I'm really impressed with all the biocontrol because as I'm spot spraying, you sit there and then you go back and you say, did I miss that one? And a few weeks, so it's good to see if you have all the tools available out there. And like what Rob says, there's places, there's no way you're gonna get that weed sprayed up on that steep coulee but you could throw your biocontrol down there and feel good. I made a quick trip to the Augusta dump, and so I wasn't observing really close, but I was saying, wow, there's no weeds here, and you think with all the traffic. So who takes care of like the rural dumps to the rural? Good job.
Thanks. Well, the crew, I definitely
Well, I was
direct
impressed
them in that direction, of
with
course.
all that
We
traffic.
also have the Augusta Solid Waste Board that meets, and I think 3 of the 4 people that are on that board are ranchers, so they're gonna notice things like that.
Yeah. I was impressed, so. And then, I guess that's the one thing as I learn in my spraying and all that, and then I see why the crew goes back out and out, because it just keeps either coming back or if you miss that one plant.
Yeah.
Yep.
So. But it looks like that was the other thing. So I got my little phone and it's amazing the diversity of all the other wildflowers are out there. And you say,
Yes.
what is that flower? And
Yeah.
so there's more than noxious weeds out there, and it's been a great year to all of a sudden. That's one thing about spring, you get to see a lot of flowers.
Yeah.
yep.
Chairman, Mr. Cobb, when Alex and I we were out up on the Gibson Reservoir, hand pulling a bunch of spotted knapweed and stuff out that one camp spot. And I did find some biocontrol there. We just need to get together so I can go show you.
Yeah.
One of these days, we'll just give me a call and we'll see if we'll get you on the calendar and I'll make a trip up there. We gotta go pick up containers and all that fun stuff eventually. So, or even 5-year management plans that we're doing up in that area. Alex and I sometimes try to make a trip up there to go through those in a day. But yeah, we'll get together for that so I can show you what you're looking for on those. But
Good.
you should have it out there.
I-
I've found it almost everywhere
But
anymore. But
they just don't look devastated, man.
yeah.
Okay, thanks. Shelley? Have anything?
Not much this time, although the McMaster Ranch has bizarrely, it looks very much like musk thistle out in the dry hills. I have never seen it where it's at right now. Out in the big field that's full of crested wheatgrass. I've never seen it there before. I've seen it on some dry hillsides that I've never seen it before. I'm not sure where it's coming from. There's not like, horse dung or anything near it or anything. So I'm assuming it's just coming in on the wind. There has been a big patch down in the gullies before, but I've never seen it on the dry like I'm seeing it now. And this year is the first year that I've seen that. I don't know if they cross-pollinate with the prairie thistle or not, but I'm a little worried about having that taking over if it's somehow managing to get more acclimated to the drier areas. So just something for the BLM folks to know about what's going on out here. I had planned to go clip the heads, but I am this weekend because I don't like going, usually don't go like going anywhere on the 4th of July weekend. But I'm not going to be around, and so I'm not going to get that done, but hopefully it won't have popped by the time I get back. So that's about all I've got. That and the white top that I've been pulling out here too. So luckily at that one, I've been able to so far keep from spreading throughout the BLM there, but it's definitely coming in, and generally with the deer who I think eat it in the fall. And then it ends up being underneath trees where they're bedded down. So just a little FYI.
Okay, appreciate it, thank you. So yesterday, the Weed Control Association, we had a meeting about Joint Senate Resolution 42, which is going to be the weed law. There are some things that came out about that. We met with Jason Moore, who is a legislative, I don't know what his title is, but he's a legislative analyst. And a week or 2 weeks prior to that meeting yesterday, and he put together a draft copy of the new weed law, or the bill that's going to go in as a weed law. Part of that, I'll just hit a couple highlights of it. One is that right now it says that the county may hire a coordinator. We're changing that to shall hire a coordinator. There are some counties that got 2 counties right now that don't have a weed program, and that's not good. So they need to have that.
Are they gonna give them any money to help?
We're gonna try to. Yeah.
Because that's,
Yeah.
we get these directives from the legislature, the
Right.
county shall. And then how in the heck do we pay for it?
Yeah, they're looking at doing they've talked a couple times, but one of the things that they're looking at for funding, maybe through the actual weed law. I'm not talking noxious weed law, I'm talking.
The marijuana bill,
marijuana.
yes.
So they may pull some money out of that to come back to the counties.
That's part of conservation. Just
Right.
get rid of weeds, makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what they're trying to follow, I think, is
Sure.
what happened with the conservation district, so. So the other thing, other than that, is that we changed one of the other mays, said that the commissioners may fund it, change that to a shall fund it. And they do get money from Department of Ag. We've had 2 or 3 of them this year that didn't apply for the $7,500 grants, nor did they apply for the transportation money. And that's why the transportation money went up to 2,000, because a couple, 3 of them didn't apply for it.
Lewis and Clark County did.
Yeah, you bet.
Yes, we did.
So, and that'll be a biggie. The other big one, there's 2 more. The one big one is that for non-compliance, that if a person, the things that we went through today, that if they do not voluntarily comply, the county will be able to assess a $250 fine per day, up to $5,000. So that's 20 days of finding them to make them do something. And once they contact the weed district, then that will stop. So they need to know what they're gonna do. And this way may force them into doing that, so. Cause the 20 days will be $5,000. So, and that's the max that they've got in the law right now is 5,000. So $250 a day is pretty good incentive to.
And all it takes is just not doing nothing.
Exactly, right.
Seems pretty easy.
Yeah. So, and then increasing the penalty, once, if you go through the whole process of noncompliance, instead of a 25% penalty, it's a 50% penalty. So if your bill's $1,000, you get 50% of that added to it, so $1,500.
And does that get added on to the property taxes
Yes,
or how's that?
it will if they
Okay.
don't.
They
if they don't pay it.
That's.
Yep. And the other really big one is that a lot of the restoration plans and revegetation plans and weed management plans. The county doesn't see a lot of them until after the fact that they've done a subdivision or put in a right of way for whatever, for like cable companies do. So those people that are doing any type of renovation to any type of land or doing that will need to have the weed plan to the county before any other permits are set out. So to me, that's putting the cart in front of the horse in front of the cart, as it should be.
So can we use that retroactively for these fiber optic companies that
No.
are spreading
I
Houndstown
would-
and Mullen and
Probably-
across the county?
Probably
Zero repercussions.
Probably not from when if it gets enacted, from that point on, yes.
Well, they'll be done by then probably. Huh?
Some of them will be, yeah,
But you can't do it because they did that last year.
right.
That wasn't, they were in compliance.
Yeah, they did
with
it
the
on
law.
private roads where there was no public right of way
Right.
and they didn't get any permission. And now there's Houndstown all the way up, like in Woodland Hills.
Sounds
They
like,
destroyed Woodland Hills. The roads along it are just, it's a nightmare.
I wanna, when you guys get done, I wanna address that a little.
Okay.
It's a huge issue. I mean, they're
This-
blasting up and down private roads without even talking to the people that own places.
lawyers need to make a living too. Sue their ass. I mean, it could be a
Well,
class
adding lawyers to
action.
the equation just sounds like it's making it worse. That doesn't seem like
No,
a
If
solution.
they learn, it can get them where it hurts, and that is the money and not the local guys, but the big guys that
Right.
make these decisions and the lawsuit, and it could be a class action lawsuit. And somebody needs to have courage to step up and do it.
Okay, so that's the highlights of it. Jason's making a couple changes to it. We're changing forage, certified forage to materials because there's more than just forage. So gravel, all that kind of stuff will be included in it, which is a good thing. Yeah, and then because there's a lot of federal agencies now are requiring certified gravel. So that will help cut down the weeds and do some of that stuff with them, so. But the amendments that we've got into the weed law, I don't think they'll be too controversial. I think the 250 might be a little bit, but that's neither here nor there, but to me, it should bump up $50 each day as far as I'm concerned, but the 250 for 20 days and $5,000, that's gonna get somebody to notice something. And if they keep getting notices from the county about that, then hopefully that'll help in all the non-compliant stuff. So.
Yeah.
But other than that, Jason's making a couple of minor edits to stuff like the materials. And getting plans to the board prior to anything happening with subdivisions, with any of that kind of stuff, so it should work out pretty well. And I'll keep you guys updated on that. We have a meeting coming up, I think, 14th of July with the EQC again, so. And the EQC committee has been very supportive of what we're trying to do, so. I think we'll have those guys probably run with the bill for the most of it. The funding may be another issue that we have to have a private or a different group of people look at, but we're in contact with Lou Jones, who is a financial guru up there, so he's gonna help us out with which way we should probably go with that funding and bringing it back to the county, so. So that's what I've got for the legislative stuff. So. Any questions on anything from anybody? Okay. There may be I don't know if it's an opportunity, but it'd be a chance for me to, we're probably gonna be the lobbyist for the MWCA. So have to make sure that we're not in conflict with anything, but it's not gonna be, I'm not gonna be up there as anything from
Weed Control
Lewis and
Association.
Clark County. It'll be Montana Weed Control Association. I'm their secretary, or I'm the vice president right now. And looking into what the lobbyist has to do, there isn't much there, so we'll probably lobby for the MWCA to try to get that stuff passed through there. So that'll be fun. Okay, any other discussion? Adopt a trail, we've covered that, right?
Yeah, I guess I do have one additional, stuff about the trail. This next weekend, July 11th, is the Sun River Watershed Group's Weed Pull Day, or Weed Whacker Rodeo up in Augusta area, in the Gibson Reservoir area. So Lily and I are gonna head up there to participate in that, and some of the Montana Department of Agriculture will are as well. So I just wanted to let you guys know about that date, in case anyone that's up in that area wants to join in. It's from 8:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m.
And that's on our website?
I don't think currently, but it is on
Sun River.
It was in
So-
the June newsletter, and I'll share it in the July newsletter too.
That might be an opportunity for you to go look at some hounds tongue with that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You could also, if you or someone, you send someone up to the Friday meeting in Augusta, talk about it up there, because
For sure.
local people are.
That's a pretty good event. I think it's their longest event that group has been doing.
Okay.
And it's run by Tracy, and then Madison assists her with it, and then they have their core members as well.
Great, thank you. Okay, public comment, Tom.
yeah, I have a few minutes.
Yep.
I want to follow up a little bit on what Candace was talking about is identification. Helping folks with various materials. The other part about that is, I have people that know what the weed is, but they don't know what the hell to use on it. So, if there's anything new out there, Idaho put out in 2011, they put out a little book about like that. It had all kinds of weeds in it, and it had quite a few different controls for different times of year. I'm just hoping that something is gonna come to help me out, because they come on and say, "What?" Well, I said, I use this on this, and I have this little book, and we'll look at it. But it would be really nice if I had, you folks had something that I could say,
Don't we have a
here,
weed book?
look at this. The other thing is, I say, read the label, and sometimes that's not a good answer. Either they don't want to take the time, or they don't know what the specifics are.
Or they're from Powell County and they have a third grade reading ability and they can't.
Well, I'm not going there.
I'm Paul County.
Oh, okay.
The prince
I'm not
going
going
there.
And the police varies.
Anyway, I'd appreciate it for you folks and for the folks that are asking me to, if we can come up with something. And I heard there's something in the wind. So, okay,
One of the prized possessions I've got when I came on this board, we've got a weed book. It's,
about that thick.
it's a spiral bind.
Oh, no, this one I've got is about that thick.
Well, maybe you
Reasonable
had
list.
one
But it's not a
weed
chemicals, it's not chemicals, it's just ID.
Is there?
Oh, somebody's popping up.
Yeah,
with
so
something.
we do on our website, Lily created integrated management sheets for all the state listed noxious weed species and county ones as well. You just have to have internet to utilize it.
Not everybody in Augusta has internet.
Yeah, but Lily has something.
Yeah, I've been working on this booklet, so
Hey.
it'll be more of like a pocket guide and it'll cover everything from the integrated management for all of the state and county listed species, as well as like biological control, integrated management, but then also like how to store your herbicide, how to dispose of it, calibration, calculating hazard and risk, adjuvants, surfactants, stuff like that. So
Good, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
we finished the first draft, so hopefully it'll be.
That's how far it is now.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Mhm.
More locally, the BLM is doing quite a bit of trail construction with a private contractor on Echo and Head Lane. There is already weeds there, but there is potential for be a lot more because I don't know. Anytime you just make a disturbance, we got problems. They, from what I understand, there is a lot of money available for trail construction. But I wonder if somehow you could pry some of that money out of that construction for maybe some weed control. And I don't know who to contact, but they're out of Butte. And I think there's been about the time you get to know somebody to talk to about these things, they're gone. They go somewhere else, and then you have a new one you have to educate or whatever you want to call it. And the other side, coming down towards Silver Creek, there's an awful lot of spurgeon there. And I think due to there's some spring water, there's a lot of timber, and if there is some biocontrols, if there's some bugs available, that would be a darn good place to put them. And if you need access, there's a lock gate there. If you need access, get a hold of me. I know the trail's in there, and I have the combination, and so does my neighbor, because he has cattle there. That's the reason I have it, and I help him with the cattle. Now my real pet peeve is this fiber optic installation. So by my place, just like you said, there's toadflax, there's mullein, there's knapweed, and
Poundstone.
some places there's already utilities in there. So they're clear out against the fence or on private ground at times with their rip, and they're digging, and who is responsible for weed control in those areas where it's on right away even? Who is responsible? Does the county, when they grant easements, or the state, when they grant easements, do they accept the responsibility for weed control?
Well, we spray the stuff that's in the county right away where they've tore up that's what our responsibility is in there.
So what about when it's a private road and there is no easement, there is no right of way? They're just trenching it in anywhere they feel like. It seems like.
Yeah,
They trenched one in front of my place where there's already fiber buried. TDS did. And I went out there and I was like, hey guys, there's already fiber optic buried here. They buried it 6-7 years ago. And they said, we're just going where we're told, they're just, I can't yell at these guys, they're just doing their job, but there's nobody you can get a hold of higher than them to say, what's your reseeding look like? Because you are disturbing enough acreage in total to require reseeding
I
and weed control, but nobody seems to have the answer of who to
Okay.
contact.
I contact his boss, Jenny, who is not here. But we had this problem with the cable being reinstalled and they were just leaving a mess behind. And I called Jenny, and who the heck did she call? They are required, I think the cable optics people are required to condition all that. How in the heck do you get them started? Talk to Jenny Chambers, head of our
Hi,
solid waste or
I'm
solid,
talking to you folks because
Yeah.
you're the weed people.
and you know who his boss is?
Yeah, I know.
Okay, that's
Okay.
what I'm saying. You get a hold of his boss. If you would have Jenny, figure out how she knew that this came up last year.
They have left a mess.
Yes, we'll clean it up.
And behind my house, where they couldn't plow it even with the big plow on a dozer, they kept breaking the shank and up there was nobody watching them. There was nobody taking care to see. They were supposed to be, if I recall, 30 inches on county roads and was it 36 on state? I could, up above my house, I could look down through that little rip there and I could see that orange stuff.
Yeah.
So that tells me they weren't to depth. And if somebody gets into that, I'm thinking Spectrum or Charter or the installers, somebody's gonna catch hell.
Which road are we talking about? Sorry.
What?
Which area?
I think this is,
279 is where I am.
yeah.
The other,
Silver Creek.
Some of it, yeah.
yeah, on 279, they're just.
So when it's a county road or a road under our jurisdiction.
Actually, the county kind of iffy.
Yeah.
But the state, and especially if they're gonna redo that road some year,
Yeah.
there's gonna be problems. Also, I understand there are, I don't know if the county is doing this zone thing. Like the state has said, they have zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, where they don't go clear to the fence. I have a problem with that because not getting the job done for the weeds. Because anytime you plow something else in, it gets further, pretty soon it's right at the fence. Well, that's zone 3. If you only own zone 1 or 2, you're not getting the job done. And that poor landowner, he can get, this new weed law is gonna affect the hell out of him. But he's getting seeded
Right,
by,
but that, part of that weed law will affect what they're doing as well, because they will have to have a weed plan in place before any other permits are issued. So if they don't have a weed plan in place, they will not be able to continue with what they're doing.
but like
If
with
they
the,
do continue, who's got the hammer to stop it?
when they're actually doing the work, that's probably not the time that I'm talking about. It's years later,
Right.
when all this stuff is been
Yeah.
translocated and seeded and
You can correct me if I'm wrong, Jessica, but a lot of depending on how the contract is written, that company will be held reliable for a couple, 3 years. And then after that, it reverts back to the landowner, whoever the landowner is. So to me, that's kind of how some of them get around it a little bit, because they don't, if they only have to be there 3 to 5 years, and then afterwards is when everything kind of goes to hell. then that's part of that process, but
So depending on what type of road it is, if it is a county road under county jurisdiction, we are requiring that they get a permit. And then we're tracking those areas, before we'll issue closeout. If we're having specific issues with certain areas, we aren't allowing them any more open permits until they respond to some of these open areas. The challenge that we have is when it's not a county road, then we don't have jurisdiction over that to require a permit for tracking. The county has entered into franchise agreements with these utility companies through the commission years ago. There are a specific process for grievance in there that we have to follow, which can be started. We also have contact information for a complaint line for most of those utility companies that we can give you. Regarding the depth that they're placing those utility lines, there is a depth requirement. If it's not placed at that depth, and we see this all over the county with utilities, where it's too difficult to put that in, they just don't. But then they're responsible if it's not put to that depth. When somebody comes in there with a blade or what have you and digs it up and cuts everybody's internet access or whatever, it's up to that service provider who didn't bury it deep enough to replace it at no cost. But it will come with a service disruption.
That's not a local company that is doing the plowing and the digging.
Right.
And Spectrum is, and Charter Communications are the recipients of all of this. So who's gonna get the bill?
Right. So we are trying to work back and make sure that those specific utility companies are holding their hired contractors accountable when they're putting this stuff in. That parent company is in the end responsible right now. So if they're hiring these crews from out of state, what have you, these contractors to come bury the line and dig it up, I would say right now is the time where we have to qualify all of the disruption that you're seeing and get that back to these companies and have that open now. Because once they're done, they'll be gone.
Are you getting any complaints?
We're getting tons of complaints.
Okay.
We're getting so many complaints.
Do photographs help?
Photographs are very helpful. And I think too, another thing we're considering, I think this has been a huge lesson learned for the county. And, these came through, they came through with federal dollars for support to get access to.
Our dollar.
Right.
Dollars.
Federal tax dollars. But one of the things that we're considering for future county road work by these utility companies is that they have to submit a video or photo evidence ahead of time showing what that condition is so that they can put it back. What we're having a really hard time with now is chasing that down and proving that it looked better than that beforehand. So we'd like to put that requirement back on them because we simply don't have the capacity within Public Works to go back, to do that initially when the permit is getting issued. But then to have that follow-up. So if we could have that provided by those utility companies and then hold them accountable to that state afterwards, I think that's one solution. But again, this is something that we can control on county roads. The state is doing a process for the state roads, but all those private roads, all of those roads where we don't have jurisdiction over that is where those private property owners are really going to have to stay after these companies. But we can certainly help qualify some of those reports, but where the county doesn't have jurisdiction over that road, it's a little bit more challenging. But certainly we can let you load up that complaint portal or whatever they have. But it's a massive issue, not only for Lewis and Clark County, statewide and in other states surrounding us.
Kalispell and Bozeman, I know, are
You guys just get knocked off your thing. I can't hear anybody.